Welcome to the Fast Foodies, your home for all things fast food. I'm Isaac.
And I'm Sam. If you eat food, then this is the podcast for you because that's all we talk about.
Get ready for spicy takes and fresh food. Now let's get into it.
This is our very first episode, and we are so excited to come to you guys with all the best fast food items. Aren't you excited, Isaac?
I'm so excited. Fast food is good food. Might not be the healthiest, but I really enjoy eating it, and I can't wait to talk about it. Order up, chow down, and let's rank some burgers. On this podcast, we are going to be ranking a lot of different food items. And as you heard in the intro, today we're ranking burgers. We will be using a tier list with 5 different categories. The top and highest category that will be the most sought after will be scrumptious. Because don't you just love a good scrumptious meal, Sam?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Underneath scrumptious, we have delicious.
All right, yep. Delicious food. It's good, but it's not the best. But it's really good. It's just, perfect is perfect. And like top tier, you really got to work hard to get up there. So not everyone can be up there, and that's okay. Following delicious.
I was yapping right now.
We have the category of yummy. And in the yummy category is like average. It's pretty good. I'll eat it for a good meal. If someone gives me it, I will enjoy it. I will appreciate it. I will say thank you. But it's not something that I would necessarily choose.
Then we start getting into some more undesirable categories. We have edible underneath yummy, which is like, I can get through it if I have to. If somebody offers it to me, I'll eat it, but I might make a face or two while I'm scarfing it down.
All right, following edible, that leads me into the next category, which is disgusting. And disgusting is just what it sounds, disgusting. Things that make it into this category, don't even bother buying it. Don't try it. Don't get it. If we say it's bad, trust us, it's bad.
Yep, that's right. Our opinion here is supreme, okay? So if anybody else disagrees with us, they're just wrong, and you can just point them to this podcast.
They'll definitely be happy that you say that they're wrong and that we're right. Let's start off with the probably most well-known hamburger in the entire universe.
The McDonald's Big Mac.
The McDonald's Big Mac.
I know we got a lot of McDonald's fans out there, but I just got to say, why do you need 3 patties?
3 patties?
Isn't there not? Oh, there's 3 bread. 3 bread.
3
buns.
Bread. Did you say 3 bread? 3 buns, my dude. 3 buns. Yes.
There's 3 buns. Why? That's a lot of bread, man.
That's a lot of carbs. I'm not health conscious, but 3 buns in 1 burger is a lot. That's like overpowering everything else. All right, right now I'm looking at the Big Mac, and in commercials, you look at the Big Mac, it looks pretty good. It looks quite large and beefy. And then you order this thing at the restaurant, and it's like half the size. Real life, it's not as amazing as it looks.
I totally agree. I just think that the Big Mac is too much, but then you think, oh, maybe I want a lot, and you order it, and it's like sized down, and you're like, what the heck? Is this the famous Big Mac? And you're sitting there crying your eyes out while eating your Big Mac, and your mom comes over, and she's like, what's wrong, honey? And you're like, I thought the Big Mac would be bigger. It's disappointing.
Samuel, is this a true story?
No comment.
Okay, all right.
I think I'm gonna put the McDonald's Big Mac in the edible category.
Edible. All right.
It is not yummy.
I agree, and I know I just trashed on it a lot, but I'm not gonna lie. I would eat a Big Mac right now. I'm hungry. I would eat a Big Mac, and I'd probably actually enjoy it. Not as much as some other burgers, that's for sure. But I myself am gonna put the McDonald's Big Mac in the yummy category. I think it's yummy. I think it's edible. Oh, okay, that was an oxymoron. I think it's good.
Whoa. The true colors come out.
All right.
The Freudian slip. I think we can all agree that it is edible and not yummy. So whatever Isaac says, he can be wrong.
This is coming from the guy who's crying over his Big Mac.
Hey, it was a traumatizing experience, okay?
What burger do you want to talk about next, Sam?
Let's hit him with the Burger King Whopper.
Burger King Whopper, good choice.
Is it, though?
Well,
is it a good choice?
Not necessarily a good choice, but it's a good choice to talk about next.
All right, what are your thoughts on this Burger King Whopper? The king of burgers, as they call it.
All right, so the Burger King Whopper. I personally I like it. I would say I like it better than the Big Mac. Some people might hate me for that, but I remember the first time I tried a Big Mac, I was probably about 8 years old. And the first time I tried a Whopper, I think I was 9 or 10. And I remember taking a bite into the Whopper and just thinking, this is better than the Big Mac.
You thought that as a 9-year-old kid?
I remember thinking that it tasted better. It does have mustard, I believe. And I don't know about you, but I like mustard. I don't love it. It's not my favorite condiment, but I think it complements a burger well. Do you like mustard?
Hot take? Honestly, mustard's kind of disgusting.
You have a lot of hot takes.
Yeah, we'll get into that over the course of the podcast. But honestly, mustard, ketchup, not for me, man. Condiments in general, like I don't want to be slurping down on some ooze while I'm eating my burger.
That is a wild statement to say on a podcast all about fast food. And you know what literally is the main thing about fast food is sauces and condiments.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I guess I just like my food dry.
I think we're going to have a major division between our fans, and half of them, probably actually more like 90% of them, are going to be on the Isaac side, which is pro condiment, and the other half are going to be on anti condiment, and that is the 10%. How does this relate to a Whopper? Oh, mustard. I remember getting mustard on it because I definitely remember tasting mustard. But I think, you know what? I'm going back on my word. I don't think the Whopper has mustard on it, seeing as Google said it doesn't, which means I think it's actually better.
I definitely do like the Whopper better than the Big Mac. I would say that the Whopper is more of your average burger experience and that it's not amazing. But, you know, you can go there on like a Saturday and eat some burgers with the boys and it's totally fine. It's not going to ruin your day or anything. And so because it is indeed average, I think I would place the Burger King Whopper in about the middle of the road at the yummy category.
See, I would agree, but I think it goes in front of McDonald's in the yummy category. And the reason, other than the fact that the Whopper is just better than the Big Mac, I think is because of the theme song. You know the theme song. We put the Whopper over the Big Mac, probably going to have people who don't like that because there is a lot of McDonald's fans out there. And I feel like there's less Burger King fans. Burger King as a restaurant, not as good as McDonald's as a restaurant. But the Whopper is just better than the Big Mac. And that is that. Burger King is going over McDonald's in yummy.
I totally agree with you. I think that the Whopper is better than the Big Mac. I think that overall, McDonald's is just a superior restaurant to Burger King. I mean, their fries are crispier, but we'll get into all that later. But as for this specific item, Burger King takes the plate here.
Takes the plate. Next up, for all of our Southern people, especially Texas.
Yeehaw, brother.
All right. Whataburger Patty Melt. We have been talking about the just original burgers from most of these places, but let's be honest. Does anybody actually like the Whataburger burger? Like the number one at Whataburger? Have you ever even had it, Sam?
I have not had it. I didn't even know that it existed, honestly.
Exactly. Nobody goes to Whataburger and orders a number one Whataburger burger. So instead, we will be talking about the Patty Melt because I think the Patty Melt is what Whataburger is most known for and probably their best item. All right, Sam, what do you think about the Patty Melt?
Okay, honestly, the Patty Melt is gorgeous, okay? I would say that the Patty Melt is honestly everything a burger should be and more. It's better than your average burger in the fact that it's unique with the Texas toast, but they kind of cut it to be square and it actually looks more compact than a normal burger would be. I mean, maybe this is just me, but you can fit more of it into your mouth at once. Unlike something like the Big Mac, where you're trying to fit this humongous food item into your mouth at once and it gets all messy and gets everywhere and you get some on your shirt. None of that. The Patty Melt is nice and clean, compact. It's not as messy as other burger items. And they took the risk of being more unique with their ingredients, but they're still a burger.
I think you're just a messy eater.
Well, I mean, have you seen a burger?
No, I've never seen a burger.
If you flip it the wrong way, all the ingredients go flying everywhere. It's like a
That's
burrito.
True. Sometimes
it's like a burrito, but less secure.
Sometimes when you're eating a burger, everything falls out the backside, and no one likes that. No one wants their veggies to slide out the back of the burger. No one likes when their tomato falls onto their lap. Nobody likes that. So
I don't even like tomatoes. So
okay, that's another hot take for another day. The Patty Melt, I'm going to argue, is not a normal burger. I will say it is a burger, but it's so unique, and that's why I love it. it doesn't just have the normal boring toppings. You got grilled onions, you got the special sauce, you got the melted cheese. So to start off, I'm going to put the Whataburger patty melt in the category of delicious. Definitely better than the Whopper, definitely better than the Big Mac. Is it perfect? I'm going to say no, but it's pretty close. It's high end of delicious.
Isaac, I'm sorry to tell this to you, but I actually fully agree. I'm putting the Whataburger in delicious. It's just, it rises above the average experience of a burger.
All right, Sam, what restaurant do you want to talk about next?
Honestly, let's go into the classic In-N-Out burger, the Double Double.
In-N-Out, locations in California, Texas, Utah, I believe. You know of any other states that have it? Possibly Arizona?
I'm honestly surprised you're able to name 3 states that this restaurant is in.
Well, here's what I know. I know In-N-Out works on only fresh items. So every item on their menu, they must be within a certain distance from where that product is produced because they only refrigerate things. So they can never freeze anything, which is why they're nowhere on the East Coast.
That is an interesting factoid you have there. To your point, that's a huge plus for In-N-Out as a whole, is that they refuse to freeze their food. Wendy's does the same thing, right?
I know at least with the beef, Wendy's does not freeze their beef. And we'll get to that. I definitely like that.
That's just a big up, a big plus on In-N-Out's side. Full disclosure, I've only been to In-N-Out like maybe 2 or 3 times. So I don't have like a good range on if they're consistent the entire time or not. But from what I know, with the restaurant in general, not necessarily the food, you never know what to expect. I mean, it does have the 60s style, which is amazing, but you can literally walk in there and have like a guy playing a trumpet.
Let me ask you a question. So in those 2 or 3 times that you've been, has there been any interesting customers?
There wasn't any interesting customers, but I did have this one employee who kept looking at me with like these ravenous eyes as if he was like crazy. I feel like he should have been put in an insane asylum 3 years ago. And he spoke to me with such passion, but not the good kind of passion. He was like, "Hey, buddy, you want to try our double burger?" And he would look at me with like the widest smile. I thought he was a robot until
I would have been like, yes, please. I love that double.
And I saw him in the kitchen or like making the burger. The way he was handling the food, it looked like he was juggling like 14 balls at once at a circus. He was just being so aggressive with it. And I don't know if this is a normal thing. To be completely honest, he looked like the kind of guy who was taking his anger out on the burger because his girlfriend broke up with him like the day before.
So why do you think the burgers are as good as they are?
Yeah, to get back on track, I guess. The burger is really good, the double burger. Now, not to be graphic or anything, but the cheese that oozes from this burger is one of the top things about this burger.
Okay.
I know that like we're talking about the patty melt. I was like, oh, it's so compact and not messy. Great, amazing. But when you can do messiness, but still have it be a contained mess, like the double burger, I mean, you're dealing with chaos, but controlling it like a little caveman first interacting with fire. It's amazing.
I will give you that. The In-N-Out burger, double, is extremely messy. You come away with messy hands every time, but it's so good that you have to look past the messiness. The special sauce, so good. So good. All right. So where do you think you're going to rank this burger?
Honestly, I haven't interacted with this burger a whole lot. You know, it's a rare creature in my life, but when I have encountered this creature, it has been a shining beacon of hope and deliciousness. Dare I say, it was scrumptious, and that's where I'm going to put it on my list.
I'm actually going to say the exact same thing, and I was surprised by your take. Not surprised at all by mine. I'm not going to give the big elaborate speech of nothingness that you just gave, but I think my experience speaks for itself. I love In-N-Out. The double, fantastic, and it belongs in scrumptious.
Listen, you can hate on my speeches all you want, but I'm just trying to explain the inner thoughts of man over here.
Next up, we're going to the classic red-haired woman, Wendy. Wendy has their classic Dave single burger. The burger's not single. I mean, the patty's single, but I don't think, do burgers date?
I think, burgers, when they find a burger lover, their patties mix, and
I don't know where Sam's going with this. But
I think a Big Mac is what happens when 2 patties or 3 patties get together and they love each other very much.
So Wendy's known for their horrendous service. I'll give you that.
What?
I feel like Wendy's has some of the worst service, but that does not make the food bad. The food, as we talked about, never frozen. The beef never frozen. I think you can taste the difference. And thus, I think the Wendy's Dave Single is a better burger than the Big Mac and the Whopper.
I am almost on the same page as you. I think it's definitely better than the Big Mac, but I think the Whopper has to come out on top just a little bit. Actually, okay, it's a mixed bag. I think they're maybe about the same ranking in my mind, but the fact that Wendy's has fresh beef may actually put it over the Whopper.
Okay.
I feel like in terms of taste, the Whopper and the Dave Single kind of are equal. Not that they taste the exact same, but the deliciousness of them is about on equal footing. But the fresh beef is just such a plus to Wendy's in this that I think I actually do have to agree with you and put it over the Whopper.
Okay. So where are you going to put the Wendy's Dave Single?
It is going to go into the yummy category above Burger King's Whopper.
All right. For me, I would say I'm a Dave Single fan. So I'm actually going to put it all the way up in delicious, but behind the Whataburger patty melt. All right. And that brings us to our final restaurant. And that is Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Did not even plan that. You love to see it. So Five Guys, a little bit different experience. The Five Guys cheeseburger is by far the priciest.
It's freaking amazing.
It is, but
Okay.
you pay a price for it.
You do pay a price. You pay like, I feel like every time you buy this burger, you give like 2% of your soul. to
For
buy
sure,
this
for
burger.
sure. And yeah, it's a sacrifice. And I feel like we got to take that into account on the ranking. So I would say the Five Guys burger is probably the closest thing to the In-N-Out burger on this list. They're not the same style. They're both very good, but the double at In-N-Out is literally half the price, if not cheaper. So for me, that's got to be why it's higher. I would put Five Guys at scrumptious if it didn't cost $10 or $11. So that's why I'm putting Five Guys at the top of delicious, above Whataburger and above Wendy's.
We both are kind of on the same track here. I do think the price is a little ridiculous for this burger. I mean, like I said, it just seems like you're giving up part of your soul whenever you eat this burger. And on top of that, the taste is great, but it's a little messy, which is not, some people like that, okay? But back to what I was saying about the patty melt, sometimes you just don't want a whole lot of messiness. Sometimes the messiness is contained and it's okay. This burger is kind of all over the place. Like it looks like some mugger just came up to it and robbed him on the street, and now he's left out bleeding out on the street, looking for someone to go take him to a hospital. Like he looks like he's in pain, but then you eat him and he's delicious. Okay, maybe not the best analogy. It's still a very delicious burger, but it's not up there with the greats. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put this in the delicious category, but below Whataburger. I think the Whataburger patty melt is better.
All right, so what we've discovered, I like burgers. I think burgers are probably my top food, which is why none of my burgers made it in the disgusting or edible category. But let's review where I have put them. In-N-Out is scrumptious, top of the line burger for me. In delicious, the next category, I have Five Guys, and they are first in delicious. For second in delicious, I have Whataburger patty melt, very good burger. And bringing up the end, I have the Wendy's Dave Single, very good, just not quite to the level of the other ones. In yummy, I have Burger King Whopper in front of the McDonald's Big Mac, which means I ranked the McDonald's Big Mac in last among these 6 burgers. I think there's going to be some angry people out there when they hear that. Let's hear about your tier list, Sam.
Yeah, Isaac, so I have to agree with you on In-N-Out being the top tier burger that we've ranked today for fast food. Surprisingly, or not so surprisingly, Burger King is not the king of burgers, but rather In-N-Out takes that top spot. Next in delicious, I have Whataburger's patty melt at the top spot for delicious, followed by the Five Guys Burgers and Fries. There we go. Original single cheeseburger. Then going down to yummy, we've got the Wendy's Dave Single and the top spot in yummy. Following that, we have the Burger King Whopper. And then in last place, agreeing with Isaac here, McDonald's Big Mac in edible is the worst burger that we've ranked here today. It's just not delicious. It's not yummy. It's just okay. It's edible.
It's just not it when it comes to burgers.
That's not it, Chief.
Not it, Chief. And just like that, that is going to wrap up our first ever episode of the Fast Foodies Podcast. I think it went pretty well. How do you think it went?
I think it went great. I'm definitely excited to share more hot takes of mine because apparently I have a lot more hot takes than I
You have some
realized.
very hot takes, that's for sure. Not as many in this episode as I thought, but stay tuned for the future. When we get into some of those other fast food items, you guys are probably going to be very angry at Sam, and I will become your favorite.
Or you'll like what I have to say because I'm honest and I'm upfront and I'm not afraid of what you guys have to think about me, huh? I am the man that you guys need on this podcast, but not the one that you deserve.
Okay, I'm sure you guys are still processing that and probably thinking about whether you ever want to hear this man's voice ever again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and week, and we will see you guys next week. Can we give them a little sneak peek on what we will be talking about next week?
Yeah, so next week we're going to be talking about chicken sandwiches. We're going to be ranking all of the very best chicken sandwiches, and we're going to have a very special guest on the show. Ooh, special guest.
Someone we know personally who works at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. That's right, a Chick-fil-A employee, an insider.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Well, thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we will see you guys later. Thank you so much for listening.
Make sure to tune in next week for more fast food fun.
This has been the Fast Foodies Podcast,
Where taste meets debate.